All right, we're here.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to me.
Oh my
Not you,
gosh.
just me.
Uh,
What?
what about me?
Oh, I mean, you can have an okay morning, but I have to have a good morning.
So rude to me.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? So, how
Nothing.
was your week this week?
My week this week was pretty good. It was less frantic than last week, which
Well, that's
is
good.
good to me. Yeah, it was good because I was running around like a chicken with the head cut off last week.
Yeah,
This week,
so
Alice had us running around. You know what happened?
with softball,
No, softball season doesn't start till January.
basketball.
Nope. She had us going to, when was it? It was Thursday. I had a meeting. I have a meeting Thursdays now. It lasts until 6:30. And on that day she asked us, "Can we go to a play? The play's at 7 and blah 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 blah." I was like, "I got a meeting." But she was insistent and I was like, "All right, let's go." And we took the whole family. It was at the high school. We parked in the parking lot and she was and as we're sitting in the parking lot, we're like, "There's nobody here. Are you sure there's a play?" And she's she was texting her friend with the information about it, and she's like, "I'm pretty sure." And Nessa's like, "There's no one here, like literally no one." And I was like, I'm not sure there's a play. Let's look at the information." And she showed us the flyer that her friend sent her, and
Uh-huh.
it was like an induction ceremony for student actors.
So it wasn't really a play.
No, it was a welcome to new thespians to the school
Oh,
year. Yeah. Yeah. And so we went inside just to double check that it wasn't actually a play, and it wasn't actually a play. So Thursday was a
so
long day.
sounds like it.
And then yesterday, she asked us after we got home from school, could we take her to get some cleats? Because she needed some cleats. So we all got ready and went to Academy. We pull up, get inside the store, and Alice was like, "I don't know what kind to get. I don't know what kind. I don't know what kind we're supposed to have." So she had no idea if she needed like. Apparently, there's two different types of cleats. There's one for dirt and there's one for turf.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Well, we were like, do you know anyone who like do you have your coach's number? Do you know anyone in softball you could text and ask?" So she started spamming her friend who wouldn't answer for about a good 5 minutes. We're all just waiting around. And then
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, she's not answering. She's probably busy. Let's just go. We're gonna go." And I was like, walking out the door, I was like, are you sure since we're already here, there's no one else you can text about this?" And she was like, "I'll text the softball group chat." And I was like, "You're gonna let us walk out of the goddamn store when you had the whole team on your phone?" I was like, "What the heck is
She was
dying."
embarrassed to text everybody. She was embarrassed to text everyone. She didn't want to let everyone know that she didn't, know what kind of cleats she was supposed to have.
Yeah, exactly. She was embarrassed. But still, I was like, "Come
Teenagers.
on, get it together."
Was that the end of your week?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
How was your
Well,
week?
it's it's been a week. So, I got the new car, right? A few days into having it, I replaced the driver's side headlight. Well, then Saturday, obviously, I had the accident where someone rear-ended me. And then
Mm-hmm.
tonight, or this morning, I guess, when I get ready to go to work, the passenger side headlight is out now. And I was
Wow.
like, I've had this car for 2 weeks. Two. I was like, could we just settle down for a minute? Like, chill out. But
Your
anyway,
car's is wildin'.
yeah. Yeah, it's cursed, or I'm cursed. Maybe I'm cursed. But anyway, I last night went to work and forgot that Beyonce was here. So the Beyonce concert is letting
Hmm.
out as I start working. And the first trip that I get assigned to is to go pick somebody up from the Beyonce concert. And you know
Yup.
how how far Arlington is from where I live already.
Yeah.
But apparently there were enough people leaving that concert needing Ubers that they were just like, it's fine. You go out there and get that person. They had every road shut down around there. So I kept having to like go around like in this huge wide circle and stuck in traffic. It took me 45 minutes just to get to the person that I was picking up.
Well, wow.
Yeah, it was awful. Anyway, yeah, the Beyonce concert was apparently pretty ridiculous. I I hated every minute of being in that traffic.
I had a kid who went.
Oh yeah?
Yep. She was like, "Guess what, Miss B?" And I was like, "What?" She said, "I went to the Beyonce concert last night, and I'm here today." And I was like, "What? You went to Beyonce?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "And guess what? We went on mute. Like we did it. We did the mute." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, do you have pictures?" And she showed me a video where they went on mute. Do you know there's a part in her concert where they all
I
go
don't
on mute?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know either, but apparently there's a part in her concert where in her song or whatever, or her performance or whatever, she says, and they all go on mute. And so the whole audience mute, like essentially mutes themselves and they don't talk, they don't yell, like no sound.
That sounds dumb.
It looks fun. It's a whole
I feel,
thing.
I feel like she watched that movie Click and was just like, I'd like to do that to a bunch of people.
No.
And this just does it to everybody at her
Well,
concert now.
well, maybe. Maybe she is on a power trip. Beyonce on a power trip.
I mean, her and Jay-Z, power couple, you know? I mean, so.
Yep, I guess.
Yeah.
It looked really fun. The whole the whole video, you can hear the crowd like way in the background, like a bunch of fans. But what you can
Really? Like a bunch of
yeah.
fans.
Yeah, not like audience fans, but like fans.
Oh,
Like ceiling
like
like
desk fans and
yeah.
yeah.
But what you can mainly hear in the video is her screaming her lungs out to the song until they went on mute.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, everybody that was down there was all dressed in like really sparkly, sequined or like silver
Mhm.
clothing. I was just
Yeah.
like, all right, I have never seen so many people dressed so similarly.
I wonder if it was like a theme or something.
I guess.
Maybe. Because, like, Taylor Swift concerts have the bracelet thing.
No, I don't know anything about that.
What? You got the
I,
friendship bracelet things.
I've only just recently become a Swiftie.
Okay, it's been like a year or so.
Okay.
That's not recent.
I've also never been to one of her concerts.
You're just not in the know, Dustin.
Yeah. You know what? I'm okay with it. I'm a 40-year-old man.
Be in the know.
Anyway, the other thing that I thought was kind of interesting about this lady in particular that I picked up, she was an older white lady. I mean, like late 50s, maybe early 60s. And we got to talking about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I've been to a few Beyonce concerts now." And she said, "I said, what other kinds of music are you into?" And she goes, "Oh, well, just the other day I was at the Disturbed concert when they were here with Breaking Benjamin, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a very different genre. And then she
Yeah.
was like, yeah, and I went to the CMAs also, which is the Country Music Awards. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so you just like music and like shows.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, yeah. So
She sounds like a cool lady.
she seemed like she was. She was also very tired. She had to be up at 5 o'clock the next day to go to work, and it was
Mm.
already 2,
Yeah. My
so she
kid
was
said,
not going to get very much sleep.
yep. My kid said she didn't get home until about 2. And I was like, dang, and you're
Yeah,
here? Kudos to you.
yeah, it wouldn't be me. I'd be like, nah, I'm
Hmm.
good. I'm gonna call in
Yep.
for the next week.
I feel like I might too.
But I used to love going to concerts and going to sporting events and stuff like that. I just can't do it anymore.
Why?
So especially like Dallas Cowboy games, I definitely can't do it. So the last few times that I went, I started to realize that the entire time I was there, all I did was watch that giant screen that's over the field.
Oh.
And I thought about it and I was like, I could just sit at home and watch my screen and get the same experience, except, not having to deal with people spilling beer on me and not having to walk a mile and a half to and from the stadium
Yep.
and pay $40 for parking, you know? And
Yep.
I thought about all that stuff and I was just like, yeah, I don't think I ever want to do it again.
Yep.
I'm becoming a cynical old man.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it's
And
fine.
hang on. You are
What?
not even 40. Calm down.
I'm close.
Not even.
I'm 37 and I'll be
No,
38 soon.
that's not close.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, that was most of my week, I think. I think that was everything.
Right?
You ready to get into it?
I am.
All right, hit them with the intro. Tasha.
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either. It just happened.
Welcome to What Am Dreams. I'm one of your hosts, Tasha, and I'm here with,
Dustin.
and we're here to talk to you about dreams. Dreams, dreams, dreams.
So,
What was that? Half-assed melody?
no, it was actually a yawn.
Oh.
I forgot to mute my mic for it. So, I want to get into the dream that I had yesterday morning that I texted you about because
The one
you
that you were
and
angry?
Ernesto, yeah, you and Ernesto were in it and you pissed me off. The both of you.
Oh no. Okay, tell me.
So this would never happen, but this is what was going on. So you and I and Ernesto had all gone to like I'm gonna say Irene's house. I don't think it was Irene in the dream, but it was really far. It was like an hour away from my house or your house.
Ugh.
And we had all gone in the same car. Funny enough, it was your car, but Ernesto wasn't feeling well. So you guys had asked me to drive your car. And so I guess I left my car at your house and we just
Okay.
drove out there. So we got there and we hung out for a few hours. At some point, we started laughing at Ernesto because Ernesto was asking why we were talking about statistics and stuff. And we were laughing at him because he kept asking the question, like, what are the chances, blah, blah, blah. What are the chances, blah, blah, blah. And so we started like laughing that's the reason we started talking about statistics because he kind of brought it up. I don't know why that was important to the dream, but it was. So then we start getting ready to leave, and you told me that Ernesto was feeling better, and so he was going to go ahead and drive. but you guys were going to go somewhere else before you go home. And so you needed me to just get another ride home.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, wait a second. We're over an hour away from my house, from where I even left my car. And now you're going to leave me stranded out here, like looking for another ride.
Yeah, man.
And I,
Sounds like a you
so
problem.
I started yelling. I have never been so angry at you and Ernesto ever.
It's hilarious.
And so like I'm yelling and yelling, and then I guess finally I just woke up because I don't remember anything. I think in the dream I blacked out from yelling so much.
What were you yelling?
It's just exactly what I said. Like I was like, I'm over an hour away from where I left my car, and you guys are just gonna leave me stranded out here.
Figure it out,
And
man.
and you and Ernesto both were looking at each other like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Like y'all were both like, it's not that big a deal. And I was like, it is a big deal. I took my car to your house and I left it there. Yeah.
We sound
I
like jerks.
You were. I woke up and I started kind of laughing to myself because I was like, first of all, I don't know why I've been so angry in my dreams lately, but second of all, that was like the first time that you or Ernesto have appeared in my dream, and you appeared together. So you're a package deal in my head. Apparently, can't have one without the other.
That makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah,
That is hilarious. I was gonna ask
I
if
thought
the
it was.
anger woke you up.
No, it was after the anger actually, but I mean, I don't remember anything after, but I do remember like you guys were actually leaving, and I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Calm your tits.
Yeah,
Chill
they
the
refused.
beans.
Nope, I refused. My left one's my party one.
The beans is not what you think. It's regular. It's just beans. Okay, that's a Bluey quote.
I was talking about tits.
Oh,
My left
okay.
tit's my party tit. All right. So, did you have a dream?
I had a dream that I can remember just last night.
Okay.
Okay, so I remember in this dream I was at home, but it was at my old house, the house that I had in previously with my parents.
Yeah.
And I remember we were about to go somewhere, me and my mom, and maybe my dad. And guess what? Ernesto wasn't there, so boom. I don't know why he wasn't there, but I remember we had to take the dogs out, the big dogs, for some reason, and we never had the big dogs at that house except for, well, we had
Right.
Blue, but she was a tiny puppy, tiny. So in that dream, my big dogs were with us at my old house, and we had to go somewhere. And before we went somewhere, we had to take them out for a walk for some reason. I guess they had to go poo or whatever. And
Yeah.
I was taking Blue out first, and the whole time, Mom was like, "Can you do it? Are you able to take her? Are you able to handle her?" And I was like, "I don't think I can handle her. I don't think I got this." But I was still walking out with her on the leash. I was like, "I don't think I can control her." And the more I kept saying it, the more she pulled. And I was like, "I don't think I got her. I don't." And then by the by the time we got to the sidewalk, she had like taken off. She had pulled so hard out of my hands, and then she ran. And guess what's weird?
What?
This is what makes it a dream. Weird, okay?
Okay.
And she ran up across the street and then up the side of a house and onto the roof. And I was like, well, there she goes again, fucking Blue.
Again, it's just every Thursday. She got to get on top of that stupid house over there.
And I was like, come on, Blue. Come on. Get down. And I remember, I guess I wasn't that firm. You got to be like assertive whenever you give commands to your dog. And so I got a little bit more assertive and she started coming towards me slowly but surely. And then she said, psych, and then ran off again.
So she was Ernesto that night that he
Yeah,
was really drunk. Yeah, nice.
yeah, pretty much. And I was like, God damn it, Ernesto, get your goddamn dog. Where are you? Because she follows directions from him a lot better than from me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think what had me dream her running up a wall and onto the roof was watching a compilation of videos with Nesto. He was showing me Belgian Malinois.
Oh yeah.
And those motherfuckers can, I don't know how far they can run up a wall, like literal wall, vertically. But they can do some tricks, some wild ass tricks.
It reminds me. I saw a video on TikTok of a pit bull that was in training and it ran up a wall, probably a good 12, maybe 15 feet, and then
Mm-hmm.
grabbed a hold of this like pillow at the top
Yeah.
and, well, dangled by it. Which then they were like, and this is my dog, a pit bull, who was trying to get onto an armchair and just couldn't climb up, just struggling with its back legs, couldn't get up there.
Yeah, I see those. Those are cute.
Yeah. So did you eventually get Blue down, or
Yeah, she came off the roof,
yeah?
but then she took off. That's all I remember of that dream. That's that's not unlike her, by the way. She will take off if you're not holding on to her leash.
Oh yeah.
Yep, she'll try and sneak out like a freaking
That,
cat.
it's kind of surprising based on the things that have happened in the past with her.
Oh, yeah. She got over that real quick. Though
Apparently.
she still, for like a good year, she was very aware of that particular man.
Oh really?
Yeah, anytime he came outside or anytime she saw him walking down the street. Yeah. So for listeners, just for some context, my dog was shot in the leg by a man because she had gotten loose, unfortunately, from her leash, and she was roaming around the streets.
I would never say that Blue was aggressive though. So,
Yeah,
but anyway, she's better now. She's fine. She's
like nothing's ever happened. Oh, and she still gets out and loose and goes on like a joy run.
a little
She
walkabout.
usually she usually comes back. She's pretty good about coming back to Nesto if he's out there calling her.
Oh yeah,
Like if he can catch up to her and close enough to recall her.
yeah.
Oh, man, that bitch.
So I think I told you about one of my dreams being very bloody.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I have that, and also my friend Boogers gave me another dream from her to read at some point. I might
Oh,
do that. Anyway, let me get you the bloody one here. Okay,
one bloody one coming up.
so this is kind of a two-parter, and I'm not sure if they were connected or if it was two separate dreams, but in my head they were connected. So it
Okay.
started with me and two other people were staying in this hotel, and in the lobby they had these like scratch off lotto ticket machines or whatever,
Mhm.
and there was a way that you could cheat and find out which ticket was going to win. And so me and the other two people that I was with were cheating to get these scratch off tickets to
Ooh.
win. And I think that is why the next part happened, but it's not super clear in my head. We're in the hotel and we're getting ready to leave, but all of a sudden I heard a voice from the hall say, "You've gotten greedy and ruined the surprise." And so I look through the peephole, and it's Michael C. Hall that played Dexter.
Okay.
You ever watch that show?
Yeah.
Okay, so like how he can play pretty creepy
Mm-hmm.
at times. So he's standing there, and then I could hear a woman's voice from inside the room, like further back, in sort of a redneck sort of way, go, "Get him, Daddy."
Ugh.
And so I picked up one of those, I guess it's an ash scoop, maybe a coal scoop for a fireplace,
Okay.
you know? And the other two people also picked up like one of the pokers and some other fireplace thing. Anyway, then like a bigger woman with reddish hair that looks pretty old comes out of one of the rooms. She's kind of gross looking and she attacks us.
Oh
Well,
my.
one of us, I don't remember which one of the other two it was, hits her in the head and like goes deep into her brain, right? You see it like it kind of splits her head open and it was pretty gross.
Gross.
And then like an older guy comes out of one of the other rooms and the other person I was with fought him off and kind of does the same thing, but instead of like into the brain, it like shoves the poker through the guy's face. And
Ugh.
then Michael C. Hall comes in and I hit him with the ash scoop thing, like broadside on the
Mm-hmm.
head. And then I pulled it out and I hit him at another angle and it like took a whole big chunk out of the back of his head. You could just, this big, almost like how you would chop a tree, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, and it left a big hole like that in the back of his head.
Jesus.
Yeah. And that was it. That was where the dream ended.
That is pretty gruesome.
Yeah, I thought so too. But see, now you can see why I was thinking. I was like, where's all this anger coming from?
I was gonna say, have you watched any horror films lately?
No, in fact, I've been sleeping with Boy Meets World on in the background.
And when you woke up, was it still on?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. How you gonna have a dream about Dexter and some hillbillies with Boy Meets World on?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that reminds me, real quick, before we get into the next thing. Do you remember when I was telling you about that dream that I had in that house where like the house looked a specific way and like I was living there with my family and we were
Mm-hmm.
like, okay,
And the checkered
so
table?
yes. So I was watching one of those like house flipper type shows
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the exact room layout with some of the exact same things. You remember I told you there was paneling more than halfway up the wall, and then there was a big thing of molding stuck way out.
Yeah.
They did that in that thing. I was like, oh my god, why does this look exactly like my dream?
Ooh. You dreamt it
Yeah,
into existence.
yeah. Well, actually, apparently that episode was 4 years ago or something like that. But
Oh.
I, I've got Max, and I've been watching Restoring Galveston, and it was
Mm-hmm.
one of the houses on there, and I was like, that's crazy because I never even knew that show existed until I don't know a few weeks ago. So
Ooh.
Crazy. Ooh. All right. You got another one for me?
There was like a brief, I mean, it's really short. I have another dream.
Okay.
I don't know if the dream itself was actually short or if I just remember very little of it, but I remember in that dream I was hanging out in my bedroom, just chilling on the bed. I think I was playing with my phone or something, or reading, one of the two. And Aiden comes in and he starts chilling on the bed with me, but he starts getting whiny, like he needed something from me or something. I don't know what he was whining for. I just remember him being really needy, and I don't know why. And that's all I remember of that dream.
Well, I've never seen him get like that, but I think that's because he probably doesn't do that in front of people.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. So you know how I feel about kids, but your kids are kind of an exception because for some reason they've decided that we're all family, which is
Yeah.
bizarre, but whatever. So I was sitting down at lunch with a friend 2 days ago, and over her shoulder there was this little girl, couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 years old. She kept popping her head up and she would look over at me and she'd smile real big and then sit back down. And she kept doing it over and over again. And then her mom noticed and she started looking at me and she was kind of laughing. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Were you making faces at her?
No. I was in the middle of a conversation with my friend, and while we're talking, I kind of glanced over and I saw her, and she just got this huge smile on her face, like, "Oh no, I'm caught." And then she sat down, and then she kept doing it, and it reminded me of when Aiden like goes in the laundry area in your
Uh
house,
huh.
and he keeps opening the door, and he'll look through there, and I look at him, and he shuts it real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kids, man,
Yeah, what are you gonna do with them?
I don't know. Never have them though. That's for sure.
Oh, you know what? You know why I think I jumped that?
Why?
Because he's been coming into my room in the mornings after Nesto gets up to get ready for work, because Nesto gets up before I do to get ready. And so I'm still laying in bed when he's getting ready, and he takes like a good hour or so.
Yeah,
Aiden's been coming in and just hanging out with me, sometimes falling asleep.
that makes sense.
It's so sweet.
Yeah, you and your kids have a nice relationship.
Yeah, it's all right. When I don't,
Throttle
yeah.
them.
Like freaking Alice taking us all the way to Academy and not knowing what the fuck, and then not trying to
And
find out nothing.
yeah, and then just being like, well, I guess I could text everyone.
I could not believe that. What a dodo.
All right. So I have two more dreams plus the one that Boogers told me about.
Okay.
Um, oh, you know what? I'll give you another angry one because
All
apparently
right.
I was just angry. You know what it is? Because of the accident on Saturday, I'm just super angry.
Oh,
I
that's what
think
it
is what it
is.
is.
It's your brain processing the anger.
Because this one also had to do with a vehicle. So I was working, Ubering, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently one of the people I had to pick up, or well, one of the rides that I had was actually the band, the 1975, which is four
Oh.
guys. Yeah. And there was another guy with them that they didn't like, and they didn't want him with them, but like they were stuck with him. I don't know why. I don't know who it was, but we had drove to get them a rental car, and I guess a rental SUV or whatever, and they asked me to hang out with them. So I was like, okay, cool. So I left my car at the rental place
Mm-hmm.
and just went with them. We drove around for a while, and they found this little like pub slash bistro or whatever, and they wanted to eat and get a drink. And the guy they didn't like, he decided he was going to stay in the car, and they were like, "Oh, great." They started laughing and like making fun of him. They were making jokes like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm so glad he didn't come in. Maybe he'll starve to death while he's out there." Stuff like that. And I was like, "Oh, Jesus. All right." But we hung out there for about an hour, and I got up to go outside, and the other guy was just hanging out by the car. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I should really get back to work. I've been around these guys long enough. I think it's time I need to go to work. And so I asked him if he would take me to my car, but he said one of the other guys had the keys. So I walked back inside and I started talking to the guitarist. And I said, hey, I know you guys are having fun, but I need to get back to work. So could one of you drive me to my car? And he pointed at Maddie, who's the lead singer, and he was like, he's got the keys. And so I started to ask Maddie, but Maddie wouldn't let me talk. He kept talking over me, but he was talking to other people. Like he was ignoring me completely.
Wow.
Yeah. And finally I snapped and I yelled, I need to go back to my car. And Maddie like looked pissed, and the other guys were just like, oh shit, here we go. Then I felt bad snapping at him, and that's when I woke up.
Wow.
Yeah,
I wonder why 1974,
the 1975.
1976, whatever.
That's a band. It's a band.
Yeah, no, why?
Probably just because I really like their music. Maddie does seem like the type of person that, he might do that kind of thing.
Oh,
Not in a bad way. It's just, I think he seems like the type of person that likes things his way.
yeah.
And because he's famous, he probably usually gets it.
To be famous.
Oh, if only.
What would you do?
Oh, I can't talk about it. They'd get me in trouble.
Wow. Go to a Walmart and start stealing with your dad?
Yeah. Throwing stuff through the ceiling because that's obviously the easiest way to steal things. Anyway, you said you have another dream.
I do. I don't know why I'm remembering it because I had it quite a while ago.
All right.
I guess it was a little bit of a recurring dream, but I dreamt of going to the skating rink. You know what? I was just talking about the skating rink the other day. Maybe that's why I'm thinking of it. But did you ever go to Redbird Skateland?
Once.
That was enough for you then, huh?
Tasha, I'm an old man, and I've been an old man for 20 years now.
Okay.
Yes, once was enough.
I'm just saying. I thought you might have wanted to go when you were younger some more.
No.
Not that you would want to go now, weirdo.
No,
Yeah,
I've only thought about skating ever now. I never even knew it was a thing back then.
when did you go? I feel like you went
I'm
as
just
an adult
kidding.
now.
It was when I was younger.
Sheesh. All right, so in my dream, I went to Redbird. Only it didn't look like Redbird. It was much bigger. And there was a skating competition. I don't know if the point of the competition was to skate as fast as you can or if it was to dance and skate.
Okay.
But I remember jumping into the competition and it was on the skating rink floor. Okay, and there was a bunch of people who are also competing, and there's a bunch of people on the sidelines watching. And the race or the dance or whatever started. And I remember making it to like the end towards the wall, and that being a huge accomplishment. Like I just skated from one end of the rink to the other, and it was a big thing.
I mean, are you a good skater?
I used to be pretty good. I don't think I could dance, but I could definitely go pretty fast, and I could go backwards. Man, those
Oh,
were the
that's
old
the holy
days.
grail right there.
I know,
Going
huh?
backwards.
Man, I feel like that was 100 years ago.
It was.
I'm afraid to put on skates now for fear of
Well,
knocking out
I
my
mean, you
other
do have a
knee.
trick name. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna.
I had kind of recurring dreams about the skating rink, and some of them were about going fast, and some of them were about just like a field trip sort of event at a skating rink where everybody just got together to skate as fast as they could for some reason, and it was
Yeah.
usually in the dark. I don't know why that was a thing in my dreams.
I don't. Did you ever go to like a lock-in at the skating rink?
Yeah. I used to I frequented the skating rink almost every Friday. Not was it Friday? It might have been Saturdays. I don't remember. It was either Friday or Saturday nights with
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, those are the days when your parents would just drop you off any old where.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
$20 in your pocket and you're good to go for the rest of the night. And
20
they
bucks.
say, see you at midnight.
My
Twenty
parents were like
bucks.
maybe $1.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do that all my. After we moved a couple times, I started not being able to go or getting too old for it. One of the two.
Or both.
Both. Then I
Yeah.
started
Croissant. Free quitting.
frequenting. I started going to the park more, where I met the guy that's snoring up in my bedroom.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Ernesto.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to a skating rink in. I take that back, actually. I went. I didn't skate or anything. I went for my niece's sixth birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
and she's 15 now, so that was 9 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was the last time I went.
Yeah, those were the days.
No.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, because I'm so much older than you, I plus I was grew up in a small town. We would go to the bowling alley, which the bowling alley that we had in our town was awesome. It had batting cages right outside. It had like all kinds of stuff in the arcade at the bowling alley. It was phenomenal. And I used to go there all the time and spend all the money, all the $3 that I got. But $3 could go for a while because like it was a quarter per machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how old I am. I say things like, in my day, it was a quarter.
Literally.
Yeah.
That
So,
reminds me of Ellen's Fairway. Did you ever go there?
oh yeah, I went not that long ago. Well, I say not that long ago. It's probably been over 10 years. I'm such a liar.
Just to say, I don't know if they're open anymore.
They should be. I looked it up for somebody just a couple of years ago. Out
That
there
place
on
is awesome.
67. Yeah, they got like paintball and go karts and batting cages and putt putt.
They had paintball?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
yeah,
All I remember was putt-putt, batting cages, and go-karts. Go-karts were my favorite.
they would be your favorite. I don't even know what that means, honestly.
I mean,
So, real quick, I want to go ahead and get Booger's dream.
oh yeah,
Mm,
boogers.
yeah, she's gonna. If she listens to this, she's gonna hate that I said that her name was Booger so many times. I guess I'll just read this like she wrote it. She said, "I dreamt I was in school, but I had to take a science class or healthcare, as it was called, and the teacher was crazy. She had written up a really long syllabus, like almost a book, and she specifically wanted to talk about one assignment. Our first assignment. Uh, we were to go into a dark room alone and open ourselves up to the idea of murder, sex, and a whole lot of dark thoughts.
Oh my God.
And to make it even more insane, she showed us a video of her doing just that. In the
Oh.
video, she was in a dark cave. Inside of the cave was a corpse, and the teacher was all wide-eyed and animalistic, like almost like a crazed zombie expression. She started eating from the body, the neck area specifically. She'd eat some and then run around, make these wild animal noises, and then go back to do it again. She was fully enjoying it, so much so that she started playing with herself and even rode the dead person's face.
Ugh.
And the whole time, she was looking around the classroom to see who was watching her.
Wow.
Then she said in another part of the dream, she was being told to punish her child by putting her in the oven and making her stay in there for an hour at 230 degrees.
That's very specific.
Yeah, I know. That's apparently where she stopped, or where the dream stopped, because that was all she wrote.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that's way more gruesome than yours.
Yeah. Well, she's also prone to nightmares because she gets scared easy. I don't know if I told you, but she called me the other night because she couldn't sleep or something, and we were talking about horror movies, and she was like, "No, no, no, I don't want to talk about these because I'm not going to be able to sleep." And then I asked her if she had seen The Grudge, and you know that sound that like that it makes, like the,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Yeah, I hated that movie. It was so scary." And so I started doing the sound, and she practically screamed in my ear.
You're
And I
such
was
an
like, "Yeah, I think
ass.
you called it." I was like, "I think you called the wrong person to help you sleep because I'm gonna make it worse." So it was funny though to me.
I bet. I wonder what she was
Anyway,
think about that.
she's probably watching horror movies.
Yeah. And the oven at
Uh,
specifically 230 degrees. That's funny.
yeah, I think she said she just watched The Shining not that long ago. So
Oh,
yeah, so she's been watching a lot of horror movies.
never seen it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't watch Doctor Sleep then either, huh?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I'm not sure I've heard of that one.
Doctor Sleep?
Yep.
It came out just a few years ago. Was it Ewan McGregor, I think, is in it?
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I like him.
it's a pretty good movie. The Shining is way
Jack
more
Nicholson.
horror. Right. It's way more of a horror film than Doctor Sleep is.
Okay.
But Doctor Sleep is a sequel to The Shining.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to watch it.
You should.
Is that the Where's
Maybe
Johnny
that.
movie?
No, here's Johnny? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where he axes into the bathroom. Well, I don't have any more dreams. Well, I mean, I've got one more dream to talk about, but I think we'll save it till next time. Do you have anything, any other dreams?
Nope. That's it for me.
All right, then. I guess we're ready for recommendations.
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 I should sing opera.
Yep. I'll go first.
All right.
I'm going to recommend a book that I'm in the middle of reading. I haven't read all the way yet, but it's called This Is How You Lose the Time War. It's by Amal, I'm going to butcher his name, Amal El Motor and Max Gladstone. And the premise is basically there are two warring factions. Okay, it's sci-fi. And there are two warring factions who are able to travel the strands of time.
Okay.
So their factions set in the far, far future, but they jump around all over the place in time. And so it follows along with two in particular. I don't know how to explain them other than soldiers, only they're higher ranking. They're like the best of the best on each
Okay.
side. one of them sends a correspondence to the other because they had fought in several battles against each other, so they recognize battle patterns of each other, and so one of them sends the other a letter, and that begins a correspondence over all kinds of spans of time between the two soldiers. And it's written so beautifully. It's almost like reading poetry because their letters go from taunting to, building more of a respect for each other relationship wise. So it's really cool read so far, and I highly recommend. It was recommended to me by one of my friends at work. She's been recommending all the books I've been reading lately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's the book lady.
All right.
So
I'll
if
have to
you
give
like
that a shot.
sci-fi, yeah. If you like sci-fi, I'm pretty sure it's an audiobook now. If you like sci-fi and you like, time travel aspect of sci-fi, check it out. This is how you lose the time war.
All right. So check that out. My recommendation, it's not really sci-fi, but it could be, I guess. It's called Safety Not Guaranteed.
Hmm.
And it's mostly a comedy slash drama. And it's got Aubrey Plaza and Mark Duplass in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl, Aubrey Plaza, she sees a classified ad that says, wanted someone to travel back in time with me. I've invented a time machine. And then in very bold letters, it said, safety not guaranteed.
Huh.
And so she's interested. She wants to go find out what it's about. And it turns out it's Mark Duplass, who really believes he's built a time machine. And they wind up going on this really long, I guess, training montage, sort of, for
Mm-hmm.
most of the movie. I won't spoil anything about what it is, but very good film. Brilliant actors. Jake Johnson is also in it. And if anybody listen or watches New Girl, that's Nick from New Girl. Very funny guy. Yeah, it's a great movie. Like I said, brilliant acting and an interesting premise.
Cool. What's it called again?
Yeah. Safety not guaranteed.
All right, so check it out.
Just check it out. All right.
Yeah,
I think we're done, right?
we're done.
All right.
Hit him with the outro, Dustin.
Dun dun dun.
Thank you, Little Dreamers, for listening. Little Dreamers is our Patreon $5 subscription tier. Where can they listen to us, Dustin?
You can listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Sirius, Pandora, and now on YouTube.
Yes, and you can find us on the socials thanks to Dustin on the TikToks, the Instagrams, and the Twitters.
Yeah, the chat book and the face snap, those things.
True. Right.
We also have an email address at whatmdreams@gmail.com where you can send us your dreams, and we will rate them accordingly and probably make fun of you a little bit.
Just a teensy bit. And again, thank you for listening from the bottom of our hearts. And bye.
Bye. Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audio spirit fingers.
Audio spirit fingers?
Well, yeah, I'm doing spirit fingers, but it won't come across because it's not a video.
But what about spirit audio fingers?
Okay.